Okay, yeah, party time. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We are the Real Short Box. We are here live. This is fun. This is fun. We've got video, we've got audio. Everything's working. It's amazing. I'm Donald, of course. Below me is Kevin. In the corner over here, because he misbehaved, I guess, I don't know, is Darren. And then to my right over here is Sammy, our special guest. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Welcome back, Sammy.
My thank you, Darren and Kevin, and you.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Okay, so we are live here. I'm going to do a few things in the background, and while I do that, we're going to have a little bit of a discussion. Darren, why don't you go ahead and lead that, and I will pop in when I can.
Absolutely. Okay, so as I was going through my list here, I ended up pretty much making my primary list just mothers from television shows as opposed to mothers from movies, kind of figuring, maybe because they're on TV, I get so much more time to know them as opposed to, just a 90-minute movie. And I was just wondering, I wanted to start off with Sammy, our special guest. What qualities do you look for in a memorable on-screen mother?
It varies for me. There are those mothers that you remember because they are so caring and so warm and protective of their kids. And then there are also mothers that maybe don't necessarily seem like the best mothers. And on TV, on certain shows like that, what we will talk about. I mean, a sense of humor is key. It has to be when you're dealing with the little ones. But and a strong personality.
Hey, Kevin, what do you look for in an on-screen mother?
Oh, basically a strong woman who uses maternal instincts to, survive and conquer adversity, especially the ones from like horror movies or deep dramas. Those ladies are very special. Take someone like Ripley, even though technically she's not a mom to Newt. I'm sorry, she's technically not Newt's, maternal mother, but she, it was like a mother-daughter relationship, because if you watch the special edition, it talks about the daughter she actually did have that passed away during her time in her cryostasis. So you saw her grieving about that and sad. So when she actually meets Newt, it kind of reminded her of the daughter she had before she, went on her mission on the Nostromo. So really good stuff there, especially that famous line, get away from her, when she's going to get the mother alien. Sorry, the queen alien.
Yeah, she says something like, get away from her, you Kevin, right? Am I right?
Absolutely.
That's what I thought. I thought that's what it said.
Right, so when I'm looking for an on-screen mother, and I've made an agreement already with my mother this evening that I would not mention anything about my relationship with her, even though it's a good one, but I mentioned I would not bring her up on this. I do look for an on-screen mother that has basically three major characteristics. One of which is they have to be very funny. I think one that just comes to mind when I think of Maria Barone, played by Doris Roberts on Everybody Loves Raymond. She's just very funny in her over protective ways. And it just kind of somebody who just gives me a big laugh. Secondly, I like a on-screen mother who's extremely blunt, will just tell you straight up right how it is, not really being so concerned about your feelings. And it's a big deal for me, and a lot of the mothers on here, I definitely have that. And third, I want a mother who's very wise in the ways of the world, that just understands things maybe that men can't understand from a certain perspective and things of that nature. And that kind of stuff's really important to me. And all of the on-screen mothers I picked tonight, I feel like, for the most part, encompass those things.
Makes sense to me.
That's well said.
Yeah. So I'm looking for the link. Is it up?
Yeah, should be up.
Okay, great.
Do you see it?
Well, I tried it on YouTube. Let me Facebook it.
Yeah, try the Facebook route. I'm double checking on YouTube now.
Oh, perfect. Here it is.
To make sure.
All right, here we go.
Should be ready on live. YouTube live. Should be ready. Let me double check.
It's very interesting, Kevin, you bring up Ellen Ripley, because we had this exact little inside baseball, folks. We had this exact conversation yesterday about, is she a mother? Is she not a mother? Does she have maternal qualities? Does she not? And it was a very strange text message conversation, yet quite brief for that matter.
Uh-oh. Maria's popped in. Hi, Maria.
Hello, Maria.
Uh-oh, my mom's here. Everybody say hi to my mom.
Hello,
Mr. Kenny.
Hi, Mom. Happy early Mother's Day, Mom. That's part of why we're doing this episode.
Yeah, happy early Mother's Day to all the moms out there.
Yeah.
And also to the expecting mothers. I know a couple of ladies out there who are expecting moms.
They're expecting to have mothers? I would hope so.
Actually, it doesn't make sense what I just said. I'm so sorry. There are mothers expecting to have babies.
Oh, okay.
I understood, Kevin.
Now, can they purchase these babies someplace, or I'm not quite sure how that happens.
Clearly, you were not.
Well, if you pay the stork enough money, I'm sure.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Uh-oh. My mom says, Sammy, your hair looks nice.
Oh, thank you.
Ricky Barnett says, good evening. Jarrett says, heh, your mom's. Enrique popped in. Hey, Enrique. Thanks for joining us.
What's up, Enrique?
Yeah, it's interesting. But, of course, the greatest news of somebody expecting a child ever on screen was Tommy Wiseau in the room when he said, hey, we're expecting. It's great stuff, I'm telling you, because he was lying about it. How could you lie about that at a party with all your friends?
That guy's such a Fruit Loop character, I tell you, man. Like, meeting him in real life, even, like, he's just off the wall, cuckoo banana pants. He's great. It's great.
And aren't they making a movie based on the whole thing?
They already have.
They already have.
Or a documentary. There's something. I thought there was like another thing that came out about the making of the movie or something like that.
Maybe.
Of The Room.
I don't know. I mean, I liked Franco's movie, but even that is maybe too much attention given to The Room.
I think so. Yeah. Katie, thanks for joining us. Nice to see you. We've got some people popping in. We've got a lot of big things happening today, guys. A lot of big, exciting things. For one thing, I'm not wearing pants. That's really exciting.
What?
Like, this is really exciting news.
That's such a thing.
What? I thought I'd
be... The audience doesn't need to know that.
I'd mix it up a bit, Be a little more exciting for people.
About that. This is Donald's mom. How do you feel about what your son just said?
I know. I didn't know we're coming a R-rated live stream all of a sudden.
We are not.
She is married to my father. She knows exactly why we're weird. This is just the way it is.
I thought we got to keep things PG-13 at least,
So,
for a wide audience.
Big announcement. I'll get this out of the way. Oh, my mom says, by the way, Sammy, she says used to it. LOL. Yeah, that's right. So, big announcement. We're going to get this right away. We're going to come right out of the gate with it. We have a brand new sponsor. Now, I know we teased it before, and I'm going to tease it one more time for everybody that did not see last week's little introduction to what we're going to be talking about. It really has nothing to do with it, but I just think it's so cool. So I'm going to play it again so we can all see it and revel in its greatness. So here we go. One more time. Let's play this. Was that not incredible? Oh my god. That, I peed a little, I'm going to be honest. And I'm not wearing pants, so...
Is that real gold, by the way?
Yes, it's solid. Solid gold, Kevin. Solid gold. So, if we run out of money, we can always just use that logo to float ourselves along for a little bit, maybe.
Or we can tap into Kevin's savings account.
I prefer that. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I know you do. You've been trying to redistribute Kevin's wealth for years.
Jared says, what exfoliant does Sammy use? Her skin is impeccable! Exclamation point. Katie says, Sammy is always beautiful.
Oh, God.
What is
Sammy,
this?
I'm glad you came on now.
No, I wondered that last time, and I'm like...
Hey, Jarrett does it in a loving, fun way. Always. He's married with kids, so you ain't got to worry about him.
I wasn't assuming that at all.
You don't have to worry about him, Sammy. He's not going to be at your doorstep like the last person was.
You said Jared's married with children?
Yeah. I see what you did there, Kevin. I see what you did there.
You have the song queued up.
Mom says that I take after her, so there you go, Sammy. She's probably not wearing pants now either.
I don't believe that. I feel like your mom...
All right. So, okay, real quick. Official announcement. We have a new sponsor. They're amazing. Here they are. The logo in all its glory should be on the screen now. It is Splattered Frog Brewing. That's right.
Yeah.
In the heart of Texas, y'all. Splattered Frog Brewing Company.
Yeah.
Now, this is amazing for a lot of reasons. One, I get this really cool hat, you see.
Oh, yeah.
So it's pretty cool. Another is beer. Oh, beer.
So we got beer to go along with the hot sauce.
So you are absolutely correct.
It's
So,
froggy style.
let's find out if it's as delicious as it looks, everybody. Look at this pour.
Mm.
You see this? Look at that.
And we will be judging your pouring skills, Donald.
Oh, I know, right? Look at that. Oh, my God. Perfect head.
Nice.
That's right, Ricky. Some beer.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Drum roll.
What do you think?
It tastes like a little bit of heaven. I'm not going to lie. This is really good.
High praise.
And guys, we don't get sponsors that are bullshit here on the Real Short Box. I'm not gonna lie to you. We've turned down sponsors before. I slapped one of them in the mouth and pushed him into the dirt once because I just didn't like what they had to sell. It's not something we were into. But this, Sir Josh, is impeccable. This is astounding. This is remarkable in every way. I love this beer. This is the Froggy Style American Amber. It's very good, guys. And it'll be coming to market soon. And in the meantime, you can get your merch on splatteredfrogbrewing.com or splatteredfrog. I think it's splatteredfrogbrewing.com or splatteredfrog.com. I don't know. One of
Yeah, let me look at this. I opened up the website myself. Looking here, we are definitely at. It's actually just splatteredfrog.com.
That's it. Splatteredfrog.com. Thank you.
You get to Splattered Frog Brewing. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
It's gonna be me.
So you have Splattered Frog Brewing with half hot sauce. You have a winning combination, guys. We're going to be doing a lot of marketing with Splattered Frog. We're going to be doing giveaways with hats and shirts and things like that. We're actually working on a dual label with the Real Short Box and Splattered Frog. That'll be coming soon as well. So we'll be premiering that shortly, and that's going to be awesome. So for right now, that's where we're at. This is Splattered Frog Brewing. Welcome, guys, to the Real Short Box. Thank you for sponsoring us. We very much appreciate it. And thank you to all of you guys out there listening. Give them a try. Go to their website, splatteredfrog.com. And yes, my dad does love frogs, so this was a perfect team up. It really works out well. Ricky says, yay, beer. Yes, Ricky, and it actually is really good beer. I mean, it's hard to find bad beer in Texas, I'm going to be honest. But it's also similarly hard to find really, really good beer. I mean, a lot of them taste solid all across the board, but this one is special. This is a really good beer, guys, and I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't advertise for them or have them as a sponsor if it wasn't something truly great. Let's see.
Hello to Marilyn. How you doing?
Yeah, hey, Marilyn. Thanks for joining us. Hakeem also joined us. He says, hello, folks. Hello, Hakeem.
What's up, Hakeem?
Katie, thank you.
Hello to my mother. This is so. when we put this show together, guys, we were doing this in honor of Mother's Day, which will be coming very soon here. And we just thought, why not talk about our favorite on-screen moms? So just to let the audience know, we each have 3 honorable mentions that we'll gloss over. And we will have also selected our 5 favorite on-screen mothers. And I can assure you, after looking at every one of the lists, we do not have one repeat, folks. Not one repeat. So you're going to see 20 different on-screen mothers get some serious cred going forward here. And a lot of these mothers could not be more unrelated. So this is going to be very exciting stuff. I really, really can't wait to get into this. And Kevin's going to be flashing backgrounds of dogs all evening. Little puppy. I've already seen a couple of these photos. I will be riding or dying with Jonathan Lipnicki and Renee Zellweger all evening from Jerry Maguire. It's just going to be great stuff, folks. We are here.
25 years.
Do this thing. Yeah, it is 25 years, isn't it?
Wow.
That's right.
That's right. But as Kevin oftentimes has told everybody, you had me at hello.
Aw, that's sweet, Kevin. He said that to me once, and I said, Kevin, and he said yes, and I said, why are you in my bed? It was like 4 a.m., and he whispered that into my ear and woke me up, and it was very awkward.
Yeah, it must have been a strange dream or nightmare you were having.
See, I thought, Donald, you were going to probably respond by saying, hey, Kevin, can you fly? Yeah, you might want to keep those thoughts to yourself.
Yeah. Bonnie, thanks for joining. Ray, hey guys, Ray in the house. Serious question
What's
here.
up,
Is
Ray?
that Darren when he was a 5-year-old? Right behind you, Darren.
Quite possibly. It's actually not that far off. His hair's a little too light, to be perfectly honest with you. But aside from that, yeah, pretty similar. Although the glasses I have not. These are since 2018, folks, just so you're all aware.
Nice. Look at you. You're fancy.
Hey.
The last glasses I got, Darren, was when we went to Costco together, and I got the glasses there.
I remember that. I
It's
totally
like
remember that.
10 or 12 years ago.
I just wear these on the podcast to look smart.
Well,
I am your professor, everybody.
That's a really good idea. Shit.
Yes.
Wear something
All
to
right.
look smart.
So, John, do you mind if I get into some of my honorable mentions?
Yeah, go for it. Hit us with some honorable mentions on our favorite moms, our top moms.
All right, so I'm going to get 3. We each have 3 as far as I can tell. So with these honorable mentions, I actually, on my main list, don't have any movie moms. I have only television moms, probably because we have all those additional episodes to get to know them. But I have a couple movie moms in my honorable mentions. First up, Kate McAllister from Home Alone, played by Catherine O'Hara. How could you not love Kate McAllister? Yes, she's irresponsible and somehow forgot her child twice.
Yeah.
But she also has a never-ending determination to make sure that she gets back to him by Christmas.
Yeah. That's true.
And we've got that. Obviously, right behind me, making honorable mention is going to be Dorothy Boyd from Jerry Maguire, played by Renee Zellweger. Renee Zellweger, you know, the moment that I really enjoyed her as an on-screen mom is not while she was being a mother, but when Jerry was ready to leave the agency and she went with him. She was the only one. She showed a degree of dedication that you can only get out of a very loyal, loving partner. So Renee, you get it from you get my my credentials here. And finally, I'm going to go with someone I've come to learn to like recently. This is going to be Kirsten Cohen from the OC, played by Kelly Rowan. She is quite possibly the friendliest, nicest, warmest trophy wife you could ever imagine. She is definitely, if you see her when she's walking around, she always looks like she's in great shape. She just, when you think of her, you just are like, oh my God, she's just got to be this evil, rich kind of whatever. But no, not at all. She's the exact opposite. And what I like most about her, she holds it together so well, despite being a part of a massive amount of dysfunction that goes on in this show, including finding out that her father Her father had a child that she didn't know about that's a sister of hers that is like 24 years younger after an affair. She has had a stepmother that is actually 5 years younger than her, and she holds it all together, folks. This is what I like so much about Kirsten Cohen. And yeah, those are my 3 honorable mentions.
That's a good list. So we have a couple of you guys already done. Who's next for this list? For our honorable mentions, who would like to go next?
I guess I'll go.
Yeah, go.
So one of my honorable mentions, and I do love her very much, but there were other choices that seemed a bit better for this. She is still a mother. Was Leia Organa Solo from Star Wars?
Uh-huh.
I mean, really, Princess Leia on her own, she was amazing, but she was also a mother. I mean, she was leading the rebellion and trying to. I mean, she trained as a Jedi for a little bit, but you know, and it's not her fault that Ben, you know, in the newer movies, not her fault. Not her fault.
Right. You can't be blamed for your son's misgivings and misdoings.
He had the dark side in him to begin with, okay? That was not her fault.
That's true.
And she put up with Han, who is not always the most reliable, and you know, loved this smuggler. And she was amazing and strong and smart and into the end.
Your mic's going in a little bit in and out, Sammy, just to let you know.
Oh, okay. But yeah, she was just an amazing person, amazing, smart, strong, and yeah, seems like a good mother too.
I get that.
But she did kiss her brother.
Wait, but she didn't know that, and they were raised separately, and so you cannot blame her for that. Did not know, and it's not like they were the kind of twins that looked like each other. They didn't even look like each other, so no.
I get it.
Karen, really? You trying to start stuff with Leia? Don't do that. Not today. Not today, considering tomorrow is May the 4th, okay?
That's true. Very good point. Speaking of which, our friends at We Can Be Heroes are going to be having a May 4th sale on their Instagram account. So if you guys are interested in Star Wars comics, you might want to check that one out. It's going to start around 6:30 or 7, I think, p.m. tomorrow, somewhere around there. So check them out. Check them out.
Any other honorable mentions for you, Sammy?
I also decided to go with Lily Munster because I've always loved the Munsters, and she was just a good mom and a good wife, and I loved it. I mean, they had a kind of different, unconventional, spooky sort of family, but I mean, her and Herman Munster both, they encouraged their son to be who he was and to never be ashamed of that, and you know.
It's true. And they accepted their daughter even though she was a weirdo.
Wasn't that their niece? Wasn't that their niece?
Was it their niece?
Or something? I don't know. I don't think that was their daughter.
That's somebody. Let's see. What do we have here real quick? Evan joined us. Good evening, Evan. Thank you for joining us. He says Julio's mom should be on the list, so it's true. Janet says, yay, Home Alone mom. She's so sweet. Poor mom felt so guilty.
Good.
Ray says Peggy Bundy. Oh, yeah. Julio says, I'm here. What I missed. There you go, Donald. And my mom says Sammy's right, so
yeah,
that's rare. You're getting all kinds of compliments from my mom tonight, Sammy.
I like Donald. I like your mom.
Oh, okay, good. Because if you didn't, I'd kick you off the show.
Oh.
And he would.
I have 2 more honorable mentions.
Yes, hit us.
Marge Simpson. I mean, she puts up with the stupidity of Homer Simpson. She's very loyal. You know, obviously puts up with crazy Bart, you know, so she's great. And then I have a real dark one.
Ooh.
Pamela Voorhees from the Friday the 13th series. I mean, hey, you know, she was really pissed off and she wanted vengeance for what happened to her son, or at least what she thought would happen to her son. And so she went all out in that first movie against all those camp counselors.
True.
Except the last one, of course. but she basically, fought for her little boy.
Very true. Kevin just took mine, so Pamela Voorhees is off my list now. That bitch is on her own. On my list also would be Claire Bloom, who played the 1981 classic. She played Hera from Clash of the Titans. A very unconventional mother, to say the least, but really cool how she stood up to Zeus to help her children, so to speak, or help her son, and help everybody, really. So just an extremely strong motherly character in a very extremely awesome Ray Harryhausen special effects-esque film that I love so very much. The other one on my list would be the queen bitch herself, the alien queen from Aliens.
Wow, interesting.
I mean, the lady
xenomorph.
Right. She basically stood her ground against a big robotic Sigourney Weaver in order to get rid of any threats against her children and herself. So, what more can you ask from a mom than the ability to stand up to something so impossible with the odds stacked against her like that? Really.
Wait, hold on a second. The odds were stacked against her? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, she had these people systematically hunting her and her family. And she had to.
That's because they kidnapped, some of their people.
Well, they were only looking for natural food sources and were a part of their self-defense for entering their nest-like area. They invaded them, not the other way around.
So I see. So they invaded them before they invaded them. That's what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If they'd have left them alone, everything would have been fine. But they had to put their nose where it didn't belong, literally in the face of the egg, and this all wouldn't have happened.
Donald, has the alien queen ever seen anyone or anything that's not of her current species that she hasn't had a physical confrontation with? I mean, has she invited Ripley over for tea? No,
she hasn't. But in her defense, Ripley didn't exactly open her door and lay out the red carpet. She tried to pump her guts full of lead. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just ridiculous.
She kills everything she encounters.
She's just protecting her children, Darren.
By killing literally everything. Okay.
That's just the way their species is. She can't help it. It's the way they were born.
Donald, she's actually worse than Pamela Voorhees. Pamela Voorhees, at least you technically can kind of understand where she's coming from. But I don't understand where the Queen Xenomorph is coming from.
I can't argue with you guys if you can't see the loving nature of this character. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Your sanity just a little bit, Donald, but I already did that. So
that's true. You've been doing that for years, so it's fine. Let's see. We got a couple comments here. Hakeem says He-Man's mother, Queen Marlena, and he says he agrees with Donald's assessment. So there we go. See. Thank you, Hakeem.
Wow. Well, at least you're not totally insane, I guess. At least one person agrees with you.
Oh, yeah, that pat on the back feels good.
Hey, audience, just know that our top fives are coming up, and they're going to be even better than our honorable mentions, if that's possible.
Oh, yeah.
Especially that last honorable mention. My goodness.
It's true. It's true. Top fives are going to be amazing. And we'll probably get started on those here in a second. I don't see why not,
And we should let our honored guest, Miss Sammy, go start it off when you're ready.
We absolutely can. Yeah, I don't see why we can't do that. Yeah, sure, no problem. Go ahead, Sammy. When you are ready, we'll start on the top five.
All right. So I was gonna say she's not my top, but she is obviously in the big group, is Lorelei Gilmore from Gilmore Girls. Because she became a mother a lot earlier than she was expecting, but I mean, she took the responsibility. She raised her daughter the best she could. She started her business, the Dragonfly Inn. She has tried to deal with everything else, like, her business, her, love life, raising a kid and all this other stuff. But she raised this really smart, capable, wonderful kid. And I mean, and really on the show, they're more still mother and daughter, but also best friends. I mean, just the way they connect. And I love that relationship. And plus, I love that show. I'm due for a rewatch. Definitely due for a rewatch.
And the mother, she's played by what's her name, the actress?
Lauren Graham.
Lauren Graham. I've heard of her name before. Darren, you've mentioned Lauren Graham before, right? She's a wonderful lady, from what I hear. She's very nice, very loving.
I'm just here so I don't get fined. So Sammy, I'm kind of, what's really interesting that you mentioned there, and you like took the words right out of my mouth. See, we have this connection here. What makes Lorelei really unique to me is the fact that she has a best friend relationship with her daughter. It's an odd situation for people that are brought up more traditionally. I don't view Lorelei nearly as much of a parent as I do as a friend and a compadre, but there's also not, correct me if I'm wrong, there's nothing that those two won't share with one another.
This is true, which may not always be a great thing, and there have been moments too where Rory's had to be kind of a parent to her mother.
Yes.
Because her mom became a parent so young and is making her own mistakes and everything, but they still have a really close relationship, and we don't necessarily all tell our parents everything, but if it works in their relationship.
So Sammy, did you like Gilmore Girls: A Year in the Life?
I actually did, and at the time, I thought it was cool because my ex, who I was with at the time, is background in one of those scenes. But now it's like, I don't need to rewatch that. I'm good.
Oh.
So it ended on a good note. Okay, cool.
No, but it was great, and I want them to do more because after that ending, they have to.
Didn't they brought it back? Yeah.
That was the thing that Darren was talking about, A Year in the Life.
Okay.
It took place during during the seasons, and it was Rory's grown up and what she's dealing with, and things happen, which I will not say, just in case there are people who haven't watched it yet.
I don't want to spoil the Gilmore Girls for anybody.
Don't you watch what you say, sir.
Yeah, she'll.
Donald, there's a Facebook group called the Gilmore Guys. I mean, you could just kind of pop on there maybe and just chill.
Are they bronies?
I was about to ask that question too.
I'll only hang out if they're bronies. Bonnie says my best friend and her daughter have a very Lorelei-Rory relationship, and it's great for them.
Yeah.
They can drive each other home when they drink. Let's take turns, right?
Hey, if you lead, I will follow.
All right, so we have Lorelei. Why don't we pick one from Kevin's list then, since we just did one from Sammy's? How about that?
Okay, you're kind of you, sir. Well, someone that's in my list is someone we mentioned before in a previous pod, and certainly one of the famous mothers from sci-fi action, and that's Sarah Connor.
Nice choice, Kevin.
Yes. Now, she is a special lady, a strong woman who evolved between two movies. In the first movie, she's kind of playing that damsel in distress most of the time. You got some weird guy from the future telling you that you're the mother of the resistance for all intents and purposes. Some guy named John Connor. And of course, in a weird twist of fate, it turns out this dude from the future is actually the father who you decide to have relations with in order to create John Connor in the future. And of course, unfortunately, he pays the price with his life. And then we get to the second movie. She's like not totally different, but a different person. She's like all buff and cut and worked out. She's like a military style training. She's doing everything possible to make sure that she defends her 12 or 13-year-old John Connor from, again, being killed by another Terminator, which would be the T-1000, which comes out. And then, of course, she forms a bond with a good version of the T-800 that's sent back. And you just see how she just really kicks some serious ass throughout that movie. I mean, she does everything possible. She endures the trials and tribulations. And in the end, she comes out on top. And I really don't count the next 3 or 4 sequels that came out. By the way, as far as I'm concerned, T2 is the last movie.
That's fair. I think T3 is pretty solid, but
it's solid, but it's just like,
I think T3 has been unfairly maligned for a long time at this point, especially when you compare it to the Terminator sequels after. I mean, you can't in the same.
Yeah, it's definitely the best of all those post James Cameron movies. That's for sure. Good Lord,
Darren, why don't we have you pop up a mom here?
All right.
That sounded so strange.
I'm actually going to go in the order that I sent them to you, Don. So when you think of a mother, you want to think of somebody who's loving, caring, wise, funny, very blunt, very true, and just will do anything they can to make their son or daughter, or their pets for that matter, just feel as special and necessary as possible. And then there's the exact opposite, which is Evelyn Harper from 2.5 Men, played by Holland Taylor. She is absolutely the most narcissistic, self-centered person you'll ever see on a television or a movie screen. Everything that happens to her boys, who she was largely absent from, by the way. She was usually 10 glasses of wine deep into any of their problems that they wanted to ever have help with. If her sons are ever struggling and she wants to help, it's for only 2 reasons. 1, because she gets something out of it. Or 2, it's because it's making her look bad and she needs to revive her image through her kids. This woman is absolutely hilarious. There's a lot of characters on TV that are similar, but she's just one of the greats at this. There's just never a moment that she's on screen that she means well at all. Everything is all about her all the time, but she finds a way to make it very funny. And then occasionally when she slips off into some of her drunken stupors, she produces some of the funnier dialogue you'll ever see. Like when her grandson was doing a magic show and he pulled the curtain away to reveal he had no legs, and she just like this, it's like, that clown has no legs. And it's just like little things like that absolutely make you roll over and die of laughter, because she's largely predictable, but she's friggin' hilarious. And for those of you who haven't seen 2.5 Men, highly recommend you watch Evelyn Harper. She is an unsung star on this show.
She's a mother, all right.
Yeah.
The earth is flat, says greetings, and honestly no lie, and not trying to be rude, but when I think of mothers, I think of Pamela Anderson types jumping up and down and rolling around in the sand. Aw, that's so sweet.
Watch the OC, buddy.
You know, some people do. They stand in the darkness, waiting to step into the light. So you have to allow that. You know, it's stepping into the light is a very motherly thing. It's very warming. So, you know, that's also a line from Baywatch for those that don't know.
Oh, I just want you to know, I just received a text message from Nick. Terrific choice of Evelyn Harper, Mr. Manel. Well, thank you so much. They don't call me the professor for nothing.
Suckass! Sorry, there's something in my throat.
Oh, is that a splattered frog in your throat?
Yes, it is. Nice. I like that.
All right, Don, I think you're up, sir.
I am. I'm going to go with Kathleen Turner in the movie Serial Mom, everybody.
Oh, wow.
You can't pick a better mother, I don't think. One that's just so warm and protective and so great. She plays the character Beverly Sutphin, who appears to be the archetypal housewife living with her dentist husband, Eugene, and their teenage children, Misty and Chip, played by, I believe it was Ricky Lake and Matthew Lillard, and if I recall, that's Matthew Lillard's first on-screen role ever.
Wow.
Is in Serial Mom. John Walters, I believe, or Waters?
John Waters, yeah.
Thank you.
Spain.
Directed this film. It bombed in the box office, but if you go back and watch it, I can guarantee you it is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's crazy. There's who had ever thought that in the history of, like, for example, Sammy, let's say you found out that your mom on the side was a serial killer. Like, that's just... She's just a straight-up murderer. She likes to go out and murder people. But she's very loving and caring for you and your family.
I mean, my mom is very loving and caring and a very patient individual. So
do you think?
I mean, nobody would suspect her. She's way too nice. So I feel like it's possible.
You know, there are apps on your phone, and Sammy, I highly recommend you get one. It'll tell you when there's crimes in your area. That way you can keep track. And you can know when things like this happen. And then you can find out if your mom was home or not, or if she was out getting groceries, you know? Or at work, you know?
At work, teaching children.
Right, teaching children to behave by murdering their parents. Possibly. I'm not saying that's true.
That sounds like a reverse Freddy Krueger.
But it could happen.
I mean...
Ray says, Joan Crawford, a.k.a. Mommy Dearest, is where I learned not to use wire hangers or else.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Reference.
Yeah, Ray, that's actually one of the advertisements that I posted for this podcast tonight was from Mommy Dearest. And talk about a frightening movie. No, thank you. I'm going to pass on that. But yeah, Serial Mom, guys. Kathleen Turner at one of her best. I always felt like Kathleen Turner was an amazing actor, and she is, and she still is now. I saw her in a production at the Almerson Theater of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
Oh, wow.
And she was astounding. Of course she was. Such a wonderful performance.
Maybe Kathleen Turner's most famous role in Lawrence Kasdan's Body Heat, so I can just be Kevin here for a second. 40th year anniversary, Kevin.
Ah, there you go.
Wow. How about that?
Also, that film debut of a young Mickey Rourke.
Marilyn Sullivan says, I apparently need to rethink my mothering skills. Katie. And then Hakeem says, Donald lays out a plot for a Mommy Dearest sequel. Starring
But this time in the 21st century.
We can call it Sammy Dearest. Hey, that's pretty good. That's got a nice ring to it, yeah.
Sammy, glad you came here now.
Yeah.
Donald, you are lucky. You are lucky that I'm not in the same space as you because I do have both of my Nerf guns.
Oh, okay. I'm not scared, Sammy. I'm not scared. Oh!
What was that?
Do we know what time that means? That is, Sammy, that is
what?
Your Top 5. Sponsored by Splattered Frog Brewing.
Yes!
What that means is we make up a top 5 for you, and you have to give it to us on the spot. So you have to give us your top 5, right now, your top 5 siblings in film or television. Right now. Do it. Top 5. Go start with 5 and go down.
Okay. Hang on. 2 seconds. Okay. If I have to think, so one that's okay, one that's good but not my favorite. Johnny and Sue Storm, Fantastic Four.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Nice.
And I did like the movies.
That's a great choice.
Except for that newest one. Next, I would say the Charmed ones from Charmed. So.
Okay, from the TV show Charmed?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Piper and Phoebe. Then I would say, I don't think they're technically actually related, but in honor of the movie coming out soon, I'll say Natasha and Yelena from Black Widow.
Okay.
So, and then 2, I'm going to say the Weasley siblings, because there are so many of them and they love each other. So, they're crazy, but, they get into a lot of trouble, but I like the Weasleys. And then, no jokes, Donald. Number 1, I will say Luke and Leia.
Oh.
Yep. Because they keep it in the family, right?
Ooh.
Am I right?
I should not have these expectations with you, but you know.
No, we can't go back and scrub content off YouTube, so we gotta be careful what we say here.
It's true. We can't. Yeah, we would be screwed if they found out that we
would be screwed. Starring Danny DeVito.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so back to it. That was your top 5 siblings, Sammy. Thank you. Now we're going to jump in. And by the way, I'm sorry, Mom, that we scared the crap out of you with that loud top 5 butting in. But moving forward, this is going to be something that we're going to be doing. So expect it, because now that Splattered Frog is part of the Real Short Box family, people are going to be getting this all the time. So, Sammy, thanks. You're our guinea pig. So it worked out. So we're going to just keep doing it.
Why, thank you. So
great.
Kind.
Yeah. So now you can give us your next mother that you would like to discuss.
Maybe I will.
Okay. Do it.
Oh, fine.
Fine.
Okay, so next I want to say Evelyn O'Connell, played by Rachel Weisz in the first 2 Mummy movies. I do not acknowledge the 3rd movie because they replaced her with someone who doesn't even look remotely like her.
Mm-hmm.
Evelyn Carnahan, who was a librarian at the Cairo Antiquities Museum, and then she ran into and ended up teaming up with Rick O'Connell, the rugged, former soldier, to find Hamunaptra, City of the Dead, and then they fell in love. And they had Alex O'Connell, who was in the 2nd one and the 3rd one, I think, but as I said, 3rd movie, no. And she is just, you wouldn't have known in the 1st movie, or at least in the beginning, how brave she was and how capable. I mean, you knew she was smart, she was brilliant, but I mean, she just proved that she was strong. And in the 2nd movie, she could fight, she kicked the Noxinamun's butt.
Yeah. I could get behind that. That's a good choice. It's a solid choice. I like that.
Plus, The Mummy is one of my favorite movies, so.
I love the ride at Universal. That's my favorite ride at Universal of all time, is the Mummy ride.
I didn't get to ride it. I went yesterday. I didn't get to ride it because the line was 150 minutes. So.
Jesus, really?
Yeah. I was not willing to wait that long.
Did you ride any rides? Because that's usually the least popular ride there.
I rode the 2 Harry Potter rides on the upper lot. Jurassic World went from 180 minutes to 120 minutes, then back up to 210.
Is that for the single riders, too?
There is no single rider right now.
No!
Yeah, I asked that.
Oh.
I asked that ride. No, it's combined right now. So
that's so stupid.
Yeah.
That's
so
awful.
10 minutes for Jurassic World. Over
I'm
2 hours.
So sorry. Wow.
It's fine. I had my beer. I had my tiki drink. I was good.
Okay. My mother says mine also, Sammy, so I think she's also a big fan of The Mummy.
It's a great movie. It's an awesome movie. I'm still disappointed by the 3rd one because, Rachel Weisz was awesome, but I just won't watch that movie, that's all.
Well, this year is the 20th anniversary of the sequel, The Mummy Returns, interestingly enough.
Yeah.
Really good. Those tiny little, the pygmy mummies, those were awful.
Mm-hmm.
Those were horrifying.
Did you like the Scorpion King, little appearance, his cameo appearance?
God, that animation was
bad. It was bad.
That was crap. I mean, no offense to The Rock, but they did not do any favors for him.
Yeah, it didn't do him justice.
No.
But you gotta remember.
Hello? Did I lose everybody? Oh, man. I think everybody dropped out. People in the chat, if anybody can tell me, can you see me? Am I still here? Let me know. Because it shows I'm still live, so I just want to make sure that everybody is here. Okay, great. So I have to add people back in, so give me one moment. Thank you, guys. It's a Donald show, guys. Just how I've always wanted it. So while we wait, I just want to take a moment to talk about our wonderful new sponsor, our wonderfully, stupendously amazing new sponsor. We are talking about Splattered Frog Brewing. I don't like Sammy's choice anyway. I was just kidding. I hated her choice. No, I'm kidding. I actually liked her choice. But we're talking about Splattered Frog Brewing. I'm going to put that over here on the screen, guys, so you can see it right there. It's beautiful. I'm going to try to invite some people back in here really quickly. So give me Nope, stop doing that. Stop doing that, Kevin. Stop. No, we don't do that here. Jesus. Give me 1 sec. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay. There we go. I'm going to add people back in. Let's see. All right. Okay, so none of these people are popping in, and I don't know why. You can't get it locally right now, Evan, unfortunately. I see you asking. Ray, it is not an IPA. They do have, I believe, an IPA coming. Right now, this is just an American Amber. And they are a virtual brewer right now, which means, in a way, I guess they're a virtual brewer, which means that they're doing small batch brewing right now. And they will be increasing once they get their pub open and stuff. But for right now, they are selling merchandise, and they have a website, splatteredfrog.com, that you can get on. And it's a great beer, a great product, and I highly recommend it. So if you guys can bear with me for one more moment, I'm going to start adding these guys hopefully back in to Skype, into the chat here, so I can get them back in here for participating. So let me call them back in really quickly here. Hang on 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. We should order a case or two, Evan, for We Can Be Heroes, just for science. You're 100% correct. Let's see what we got here. Add to group. Okay, well, it's not letting me add these people because the call, unfortunately, got dropped. So I'm going to add them back in. And let's see. Am I still on with you guys? Yes, I'm still on with you guys. Here we go. And I'm waiting for the others to join. Hopefully they will join shortly. And we will get this started. Okay. So, we have added Sammy back. Look at that. Thanks for joining me, Sammy. I don't know why everybody dropped all at once and it was just the Donald show for a little bit.
It's a YouTube conspiracy, sir.
I did call Darren's part of that group as well, so I don't know why he has not been in here. But yeah, Kevin, when you're calling me, I can't call you and get you back in. So I'm very sorry for everybody in the chat that couldn't respond. Yes, it is from Texas, Ricky. It is a Texan beer. And they will be sending me some samples and some things of the beers as we move forward. So
I'd love to try that.
I will very generously bring them to the shop, and we can do a tasting there. Sammy, you can make your way there, right?
Hello.
Hello, Darren. There you are. Finally. Wow.
Where did we leave off?
I have no idea. Everybody's name card is mixed around too, so let me change that really quickly.
We left off at number 4, right?
Sammy's was talking about her.
We were talking about the Mummy, which...
and we're joking around about The Rock and how he wasn't done right with the poor CG work.
There is a thing that with The Rock, by the way, that I wanted to mention really quickly. Kevin is very much enamored with Dwayne Johnson and told me that there isn't anything he wouldn't do to get him on this podcast. And I mean anything, guys.
I don't know about that.
Anything.
Look, we went to the same college, but come on now, you don't do just about anything.
Anything, guys. He said anything. But anyway.
That's true.
Let's see.
So Sammy was talking about her number 4. Who was that again?
It was Evelyn O'Connell from The Mummy and The Mummy Returns.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I think then we're going to be going to Kevin. So Kevin, what's your next choice?
My next choice is Diane Freeling, played by Jo Beth Williams from the first 2 Poltergeist movies.
Ooh.
We got a GIF here. Or a GIF, depending on how you pronounce it. I don't know. But she's looking silly here. So go ahead, Kevin, and describe her as she shakes her head repeatedly.
Well, she is, I guess you would say, your somewhat typical 80s mom, from that era. And, obviously a mother who loves her children. And, of course, when this paranormal activity starts occurring in their new home, obviously she, goes into mama bear mode. And, of course, they find out that the poltergeist, the ghosts, are specifically want the youngest daughter, Carol Ann. Of course, the famous "They're here," and of course, in the sequel, "They're back." So those 2 movies, the poor family just being tormented and stalked by the beast. Later, we find out in part 2, he's named Reverend Cain, and that guy looked really, really creepy. That old school 1800s preacher with the black suit and everything and the hat.
Yeah.
But, she does everything possible, along with, of course, the husband, to defend Steve, to defend the family, and basically protect mainly the little girl from being, captured and taken over. Because, she's like the source of goodness and light. And then they learn in part 2, they have to stay united as a family in order to protect themselves and defeat the beast, or Reverend Cain, and the rest of his poltergeist demons.
Have you seen Poultrygeist, Kevin? Have you seen Poultrygeist?
What?
Yes.
Poultrygeist. About killer chickens.
Oh, no, I haven't. No, I haven't.
In that movie, actually.
Who's in it?
John Carius. Good guy.
Ah.
Yeah. It's a, I can't think of the guy's name off the top of my head, but it's one of those called from. Yeah, Kevin, she's a very typical 80s mom, especially when she, is totally getting high on the kitchen floor with her husband.
Oh, yeah. I see Akeem made a very interesting point. From a real-life perspective, she couldn't protect the folks who died in real life from all 3 movies. That's right. The poltergeist curse.
Think about
Someone
this.
died after every movie in real
They
life.
used, in one of the final sequences, they used actual skeletons, cadaver skeletons, instead of fake skeletons because they were cheaper. Where did they get these skeletons? I don't know, and probably some of these people don't know either, and they just got a made-up story. I'm betting.
Maybe that's why the curse started.
Exactly. Yes, that is why this whole freaking production was cursed, and people just kept dying because they used real cadavers. You don't use real bodies on set. It's a bad idea, guys. It's a really bad idea. And the history of bad ideas, this is numero uno. Besides Landis going, "Hey, we've got a propeller here. Why don't you stick your heads near it?" In the history of bad ideas. Also an extremely bad idea. Like, just poor choices all around. Darren, why don't we go to your next mother?
All right. So for my next mother, this is the kind of on-screen mother that can only be dreamed up in a lab, because she just really doesn't have many imperfections about her. She really doesn't have many weaknesses when it comes down to it. She checks all the boxes and then some. I, of course, talking about Vanessa Baxter from Last Man Standing, played by Nancy Travis. So what I mean by this is, imagine, if you will, you have a mother who has a massive array of dad jokes and pun humor. She is a very kind person, an excellent cook, wonderful at cleaning the house cleaning, all those kinds of things. She has a profession as a geologist and as a tutor. And she is married to quite possibly one of the most difficult men on television. And she does it all with absolute pure grace. She's also a parent and a best friend to her 3 daughters. And she's very effective at both. I just cannot think of somebody who just is the complete package more so than Vanessa Baxter over at Last Man Standing. And she absolutely, I think, as the show goes off the air after this season, you'll see more and more that she's going to start getting up there in the annals of all-time legendary on-screen mothers.
More, do you think if you had to put her up against Jill Taylor from Home Improvement,
Oh boy.
you think that she would come out on top?
See, Jill's really cool. I personally like Last Man Standing as an overall show more, but it's really hard to say if she's better than Jill Taylor. It's just that's because they are in many ways kind of similar. You know, it's just Jill has a different demeanor, but she does all the things. You know, she's more of a stay-at-home mom, but she's a very capable stay-at-home mom. She can, she can install the new television. She can do yard work. She can do all sorts of things. She's very talented. But I don't know. I think over time, Home Improvement is becoming more dated, and I think Last Man Standing will probably stand the test of time a little longer.
Okay. All right. I hear you. Okay. That was yours. I'm going to go with one here. Let me pull one up. Yeah. This is going to happen. Linda Belcher, guys. My favorite character in Bob's Burgers. My absolute favorite. It took me a while to narrow it down, and they're all great. We've got Jean, we've got Louise, we've got Tina, and we have Bob. And they're a fantastic family, and every character is unique in their own way. And I know a lot of people tend to lean towards Louise because she's a zany, wacky one. But I can't pass over anybody that has as many songs about their own farts as Louise Belcher, or as Linda Belcher does. Linda Belcher is so fun. She's such a fun character, such a fun, loving, strong mother that just gets herself in all the wrong types of predicaments. And I love that about her. I truly do. And I love the character. Something really funny is Linda Belcher actually is voiced by John Roberts, who is a man. So, for those that don't know, it could catch you quite off guard when you find that out. But he does a fantastic job putting himself into the mind of a woman, and definitely the voice of a lady that's just a wacky, fun-loving, crazy, kooky mom that I think probably pretty accurately represents my own mother in a lot of ways. And I hope my mom understands what I mean by that. Not like saying that my mom is flatulent at all. I'm just saying that she's zany and kooky and kind of wacky and comes about things in a fun way, in a loving way, and always has time for her family. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate this character very much. So Linda Belcher from Bob's Burgers is one of my choices for top moms.
Very nice.
All right, Sammy, back to you.
Dang it. Okay. Next, I wanted to spotlight another wonderful mother, a very different mother. Really how the family was. But I wanted to talk about Morticia Adams from the Adams.
Morticia
Good
Adams.
choice.
Nice.
Fabulous and a little bit dark, but also loves gardening as I do. Loves taking care of plants, But she's a good mom, and her kids, she likes to encourage them to pursue what they're passionate about, even if that is chasing your brother around with a giant butcher knife, but she'll give you the right kind of knife, and she'll correct you. Or, she deals with Gomez and his eccentricities, like the whole thing where when he gets worked up or stressed, he starts playing with his train set, and that's when they know something's going on. And then her and Gomez, I think they're a great example of a relationship, of a loving relationship and a passionate relationship. And, and great example for the kids, I mean, and they're they're creepy and they're kooky, but they're wonderful.
This is a TV show that 20, 30 years later spawned a series of movies that spawned a cartoon series that then later also spawned a cartoon movie.
I did not watch the newest movie. But
it's okay. It's not everything that you want it to be, but it's quirky enough, and it has its own cuteness to it in a lot of ways. So I think it's worth watching.
I started watching the original show, and it's really good. I like it. I mean, my favorite is still Angelica Houston, but I do love the original. The original's good, and I did watch the cartoon. So,
Hey, they're the Addams family.
That's right.
They're a great family, and Morticia's awesome.
By the way, quick Addams Family story that absolutely nobody's going to care about. But I went to go see the Addams Family with my cousin Nicole over at the local Regal Cinemas, and it was actually completely sold out. And we're like, but we got all the way here. We got to see a movie of some kind. And that was the first time that I came in touch with the Star Trek universe, watching Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. And it was
one of the top two best
Star Trek films.
One of the top three best Star Trek films.
Nice.
Yeah. Who directed that one?
Nicholas Meyer, who directed Wrath of Khan, Part 2.
Nice. See? Yeah, that goes to show you. There was a golden child there, and they should have just stuck with that golden child, so to speak. But, it is what it is. All right, so Sammy, we've had yours. Now, Kevin, let's have yours.
Okay, my next one is someone that everybody knows. Very popular TV mom from the 1970s, probably the most popular TV mom of the 1970s. Carol Brady.
Oh!
Yep.
She looks very intense in this photo, Kevin. She looks very... It almost looks like she is the lead in the Taken film series instead of Liam Neeson.
Well, hey, she's just got to give you a little serious mom look. I mean...
yeah, she looks serious, man.
I mean, everyone knows her. She's the mom to Marcia, Jan, and Cindy, and married Michael Brady, and they formed, of course, the Brady Bunch. And she's cool. I mean, she was probably one of the closest things to like a modern day woman. She wasn't just simply a stay-at-home mom, but she also did her own thing. She was a writer, she was a sculptor, a singer, and at the same time, yeah, she'd be like a typical mom, cook you dinner and lunch and all that good stuff. But, she was very sweet, to her kids and cared about their well-being and, just wanted to be happy, just make a happy home, essentially. So she's cool.
What about that episode where they, angered a Hawaiian tiki god of some sort and bad luck kept happening to the family? What do you think about that, Kevin?
Yeah.
Wasn't the greatest mom then, was she?
Well, look, it's about adversity. You find a way to overcome it, and that's what the best moms do.
It's true. Good point. All right, my hat's off to you. That's what you get. That's all you get. My hair's a mess.
Yeah, and God rest her soul, Florence Henderson.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
As well as the Brady house in Studio City.
Ah, that's true.
That's true. Scorch brings up a good point. He says Carol Brady's first husband, Daniel Allen Martin, disappeared without an explanation, leaving her to raise the 3 girls on her own.
That's true. So, see? Shows you the strength.
Katie says Mike is the dad, Greg, Bobby, and Peter are the kids. Of the boys, at least. So, a lot of points being brought up. Thank you, guys. Let's see here. Darren, do you have another top mom to add to our list?
Absolutely. I'm going to take This Is a Mother that comes from a very wholesome television series that is inching towards its 40th year anniversary from its initial pilot. This is the most popular television show in TV history that took place in the great state of Ohio. I, of course, am talking about Elise Keaton from Family Ties, played by Meredith Baxter. So, let's take a moment of why I am such a big fan here. Her backstory is as such. Her and her husband were essentially hippies in the late 60s, early 70s, marching for civil rights, marching towards the great hippie revolution, if you will, wanting to, basically they spent time doing pilgrimages overseas. They were members of Greenpeace, all sorts of other things like that. And what exactly is their reward for this? You would figure just a bunch of, happily ever after children that are very similar in their ways of thinking, but you would be absolutely wrong. Their oldest son, Alex P., played by Michael J. Fox, is a member of the Young Republicans. He is also a very sexist person in many ways and totally a throwback to like a 1950s kid. Then you have Mallory, their daughter, who is a total airhead, absolutely huge material girl, if you will, the term very popular in the 80s, huge materialist, all about going boy crazy, great outfits, things of that nature. Their youngest daughter, played by Tina Yothers, always wants to hang out with the boys. She wants to, play baseball. She wants to play G.I. Joe. She wants nothing to do with the Barbies. And then, of course, they have their youngest son, Brian. Now, the reason that I like her so much is because she has unbelievable wit, great one-liners, great comebacks, and she can educate you in such a subtle way without having to insult you, without having to belittle you. And then you throw on top of the fact that she has these 3 kids that are so ideologically different from her, yet she never forgets to explain to them that you're still my children, I love you, and I don't want you to be anything other than what you are. So definitely, without a doubt, I have to go with Elise Keaton. She's also a very talented professional woman who is an architect. Is very lucrative doing that. She's got great stay-at-home mom skills as well. So no question for me. I'm going to have to go with Elise Keaton here.
Scorch made a very good observation, saying that Meredith Baxter and Michael Gross were born on the same date, June 21st, 1947.
What?
That's insane. Like,
The summer solstice.
what are the odds that they cast both of them to be husband and wife, and they're both born on the exact same date? Like, I wonder when they found that out, like on set, when they figured this out.
And also the first day of summer, which is pretty cool.
That's insanity. David joined us, by the way, David Denenberg, so thanks for joining us, David.
Thank you for joining us, David.
Sean has joined us. Thanks for joining, Sean.
What's up?
And let's see. Okay, we're going to go to the next one. I think that would be my choice, right? Let's see what I got here. Now, this one's funny to me. It's funny to me because of multiple reasons, but it's also very sad. It's a sad moment because of a recent passing, actually. So, I'm talking about the mom of all moms. We are talking about Lucille Bluth, who is so wonderfully played by Jessica Walter in Arrested Development, which was originally a Fox series and then got picked up by Netflix. The queen of drunken mothers, of disorderly mothers, of a dirty, rotten scoundrel that happens to have children would be Louise, or Lucille, I mean. And funny enough, when I sent Kevin, I said, hey, can you find me a picture of Lucille Bluth as part of my list? He sent me a photo of Lucille Ball. So I could have easily posted a picture of her and made some side of hilarity ensue, but we will just go with the winking lady here over and over and over and over. That's right, Sean. She did mistake the drowsy eye warning for a winking eye suggestion. It's just great. There's always money in the banana stand, guys. So just keep in mind, if anyone in your family owns a banana stand, bust open the walls and dig through it, because there's got to be money in there somewhere. That's the one takeaway I have from that entire series.
The one.
Yeah, the one. But a great, not so great motherly figure, but a very memorable motherly figure nonetheless. I do love the character. I think she's a very talented lady, a very talented actor, and a very great show that unfortunately did not get the justice it deserved in a proper 4th season. But maybe someday. Anyway, that's my choice. So, let's go to... Actually, let's take a moment here. Let's take a moment of reflection. Let's take a moment to talk about our wonderful new sponsor. We're talking about Splattered Frog Brewing, right here in the heart of Texas. Such a wonderful amber, froggy-style American amber ale I'm drinking right now, or have. It's gone. I drank it all. I'm sorry, and I have no more.
Lone Star State.
I have one bottle left. I drank it all. I'm very apologetic about that. But if you go to splatteredfrog.com, they got a lot of fun merchandise. We're going to be doing giveaways in the near future. I think beer and wrestling goes really well together. So just to quickly mention about our next podcast. Our next 2, actually, are going to be Royal Rumbles, guys. We are going to do a you vote, you decide scenario where we will select 16 of the best, most talented heroes in the wrestling community. And the following week, 16 of the most vile, evilest villains in the wrestling community. And we will pit them against each other in an Ultimate Royal Rumble. And it'll be 2 weeks to decide who's the ultimate winner, the king of the ring, so to speak. Who will win the title of the Royal Rumble winner, the ultimate machoist of the macho, the best of the best. We will see. So tune in next week and the week after for our Royal Style Rumble fights in the wrestling community. Part 1 and Part 2. Part 1 next week is for heroes. So
There will be lots of steroids, baby oil, and if I may also add to that, we will be having 2 special guests that are going to blow you folks away, one of which is completely confirmed and booked, an actual wrestling promoter and booker, someone who actually puts live wrestling events together and has worked with potentially some of these people that might be on the list. Okay. Very excited about this, but we'll get to that very soon.
Sean just brought it up, and I think it's a very good thing for me to mention right now. Everybody in the audience right now that's listening, if you would like to see Kevin shirtless, dressed as Coco Beware, with his pet parrot on his shoulder, please say Coco in the chat. If we get enough people, that say that they want it, Kevin will appear next week shirtless, dressed as Coco Beware.
Kevin,
Maybe a tank top.
Did you know that Coco Beware versus Yokozuna was the very first match ever on Monday Night Raw?
You know what? I totally forgot about that. That was back in 92, I want to say. 92.
93.
Yeah.
93.
Hey, real quick, Jarrett says his kids, Madeline and Stella, are watching. Can we give them a shout out? Of course we can.
Hi, Madeline. Hi, Stella.
Hello, Madeline. Hello, Stella.
Hello.
Wait, what about the son? The son's not watching?
Hello, ladies. Gorgeous ladies of wrestling, so to speak. Since we're talking about wrestling, we've got some glow-style ladies here. We've got Madeline, and we've got Stella. Thank you guys for watching us. We very much appreciate it, and we'll try to watch our potty mouths as best as we can, although it's very hard for me, particularly because I've had this delicious froggy-style American Amber Ale from Splattered Frog Brewing. Anyway, moving on. Let's see. We've got some comments here really quickly. Oh, my mom already said Coco. So, Kevin? Oh. Yep. Bonnie's laughing.
Hey,
John
Kevin,
says... Go ahead.
Kevin, can we reenact that opening match and have someone give you a bonsai drop?
I don't know about
I'll
that.
do it.
First of all, I don't know you would find who's that big.
I'll totally do
Such
it.
a thing.
I'll do it. I'll dress up. I'll get one of those fat suits and I'll crush him.
Donald's gonna be in sumo.
I'll wrap like pillows around me or something if I have to. Sean says he's gonna have to dress. Oh, he says you all have to dress as somebody then. Sean, that's easy enough. Wish granted for me. I will come dressed, and you know me. You know I'm all about that pageantry.
Wait, Donald, that means pants too, right?
I'll do it. Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. Maybe I'll come pantless again. This will be great. I have every excuse in the book not to wear pants now every day. Like, it's wonderful. David says Coco. Uh-oh. We're getting closer.
Just 2 people.
I want to see, Scorch says I want to see Frankie the Parrot on Kevin's shoulder, so that's 3.
First of all, where would we find a parrot anyway?
David says I just want to see Kev shirtless, that's 4.
That's the serve.
Jared says they're blushing. Aw. My mom says I love Coco hot. LOL.
Hey, Kevin, maybe you dress up like Virgil. You know, like I mean, you know
what? I can do Virgil.
You shaved your head though.
Yeah, that's true. I shaved my head.
Okay.
I mean, Virgil. I got that weird jacket. I got the money.
Oi.
Janet says Frankie the Parrot.
Ted DiBiase?
David says no pants, just a sumo G-string. David, done. That's Sammy's dream, by the way. Me pantless in a G-string dressed as a sumo wrestler. I know it. She knows it. It's fine. Let's see. Hakeem says Kevin beware.
Indeed.
And Scorch is at Janet. Yeah, Frankie is a blue and gold macaw. Oh, excellent. So, Kevin, I think we're getting a lot of votes for you to dress shirtless as Coco Beware next time.
No, only 2 people officially said such a thing.
No, actually, there's been 4 people.
No, 2 actually officially said it. They just said,
those other ones count, buddy.
Dude, you should just be grateful they didn't ask you to dress up as Ahmed Johnson. I mean, this could get much worse. I'm just saying.
I don't think most people even know who that is, Derek.
Or like even the junkyard dog, you know what I mean? Like Coco Beware is a respectable man. And I expected to see you in those glasses.
He's also a big-time jobber.
Doing this in your glasses with your shirt off, going, woo!
So I think, Sammy, I think you've got a mother you wanted to talk about.
Yes, please.
Why do that when we're on such a great tangent here?
True. All right, let's just go through your next one here, and then we'll move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
My next one is probably one of the best moms in history, at least in literary cinematic history, and that would be Molly Weasley of the Weasley family. She raised and put up with 7 children.
Woo.
6 boys, 1 girl, and 2 of those boys, the twins, were especially like mischievous and they opened up their own joke shop eventually, so that's pretty. I mean, it worked out for them, but still, I mean, she's very protective. They have that clock in their house that keeps track of where all the family members are at any time. It even has a setting for like mortal danger or mortal peril. And I mean, she's so caring, and she makes them those sweaters, and she even makes one for Harry, who never knew his mom, and she becomes like another mom for him. And at the final Battle of Hogwarts too, when Bellatrix Lestrange is trying to perform the killing curse on Ginny, Molly says, I think it's like, not my daughter, you B-word.
Yeah, Bonnie says it right now, not my daughter, you bitch.
Kick the butt. Molly, you don't mess with Molly Weasley, whether you're a Death Eater or even
one of Stella and Madeline, sorry. Don't tell your mom.
I thought we were going to try to... That's why
I said I would try.
For the children.
I had splattered frog.
You can't blame one. You can't blame one. Oh, yeah, Molly Weasley. Molly
Weasley. We're getting a lot of comments about Molly. Molly is the best, and almost all of her children survived. Mom says she loves her. Darren, we're actually getting some requests for you. We're getting Gold Dust for you to dress up as.
I have done that before.
And we're getting Owen Hart as well.
Oh, Owen Hart? The Black Heart, the Rocket. I don't know. That might be a little more challenging, but, I'm open to it.
There we go. We've got some options. Here. Okay. So, next on the list, Mr. Kevin.
All right. I am going with someone from a show that's probably considered the greatest spin-off show from All in the Family, and that would be Louise Wheezy Jefferson.
I think that was just such a great choice, Kevin. When you told me that you were changing and adding her, I was like, bravo. Like, such a strong personality and a great character in a show. She did not take any shit. I'll tell you that.
No, that's what I like about her. She matched wits with George Jefferson, so whatever George gave, she gave right back.
Yes.
So she's an awesome character. Also another person, God rest the soul of Isabel Sanford, who played her. And, another great all-time TV mom from back in the day. Of course, they only had one son, Lionel, but, she's great. I mean, just an awesome character. One of the greatest shows of all time, TV shows of all time, which, maybe later this year that might pop up in another future show coming up in the summer. But,
yep.
I mean, what can you say? I mean, just like Carol Brady, one of the top 10 greatest moms out there.
Don says Wheezy is the best.
That's right.
And then Hakeem says moving on up like George and Wheezy.
That's right. Moving on up.
Why'd you go with Wheezy instead of Florida, Kevin?
That's not bad. That's not bad because that's another spinoff show. Good times. But, this is something about Wheezy it's just like her a little slightly better.
Right.
And maybe because they have moved on up, maybe that did just attract me more in that sense choosing between the two. But
yeah,
you can't go wrong. Florida's a great character too.
All right, Darren, your next choice.
I'd like to take an opportunity to pull a Donald here. I actually have a prop for my next choice here. I'd like to take a moment to honor the great wife I have.
Yes.
In doing so, who has just got me this brand new jersey. And when it comes to mothers on screen, there are those that are loving and great, and they allow you to become more than you possibly ever could be. And then there are those mothers that are wives, rather, too, that are completely emasculating, completely condescending, and high maintenance, and utterly annoying. And that, of course, would be Peggy Bundy, played by Katie Seagal. So Peggy Bundy, I'm a huge fan of Married with Children, and a lot of that has to do with most of the characters I actually are very memorable and I adore. And Peggy Bundy is just wonderful. She has a sharp tongue like very few. She has very good wit. There is just no low blow she's not willing to throw at you. She realizes she is what she is. All those things I said, emasculating, condescending, annoying, high maintenance, and she embraces all of it without apology. Of course, she is most well known for eating bonbons and watching Oprah. She is a woman that what's funny when you look at the original audition and what she did, the character that she plays and how she's dressed is exactly how she dressed for the audition. She wanted to be somebody that acted very high class. Now, the clothes that she's wearing were the clothes of the high class in 1961. She's completely out of date in every single way. And she's, in many ways, very trashy. But if you called her trashy, she'd punch you right in the face. That's just Peggy Bundy for you in a nutshell. Great wit, great comedy. Just the perfect counterpart to America's favorite loser, Al Bundy.
She's such a wonderful woman. She makes me want to work at a shoe store, Darren. I feel like I could get 4 touchdowns in one game, too. Just a perfect choice. I love Peggy Bundy so much. another extremely strong woman in so many ways. Very comical. Katie did such a wonderful job playing this character and bringing about such a wonderfully memorable character. At some point, we may not ever get to watch this show again because they will cancel it completely because it is very on PC. That's part of what I love about it. And the fact that it's still out there and that we can all watch it and enjoy it is a beautiful thing. So keep carrying on, Married with Children, living the dream in TV land, currently, most likely at this point. But that was Married with Children, Peg Bundy for Darren's choice. I am going to jump on another character here for my own. I've got 2 left, I believe. So this one's going to be a very good mom, like a very smart, very strong mother that just made all the right choices. We're talking about Cersei Lannister from Game of Thrones. Cersei is the type of mom that would throw caution to the wind and just have relations with her brother and would blow up an entire kingdom, basically, in order to continue her rule, and would stand there till the very bitter end as the walls and world literally falls down around her. But somebody that stood her ground 100% and did strongly, passionately fight for the rights of her children. Nobody else's. She didn't give a crap all about anybody else's children. But when it came to Joffrey, Myrcella, or not Tommen, not you, she would do anything to make sure that her legacy was procured and she reigned supreme. And that's what she tried to do in Game of Thrones, in the TV series on HBO. So highly recommend her as a choice. Few comments here. Scorch says, Al Bundy always had cash to give Peg, even though he was constantly broke. It's true. She always made him give money. My mom says she has a new show called Rebel, which I have not seen, Mom. I don't know if it's any good or not. I haven't seen it. Angie's laughing. Thanks for joining, Angie. Appreciate it. Hakeem says, I've never watched Game of Thrones. I hear a lot of people enjoy it, except for the last season. Yes, Hakeem, that is very true. Angie says, #1 stage mom for sure. So yeah, it's definitely a good choice for anybody. David says, you love to see a strong, see a show build a strong, independent woman, only to have her go crazy because you know Targaryens have that madness in them. Yeah, that would be the other mother, the mother of dragons, not Cersei. But you're close. You're close.
You know what's interesting? Cersei, for exception of the very first 2 episodes of the series, never left King's Landing for the entire series after that.
I did not think about
that. Yeah, she was always there. Never left.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, Kevin, I just had a thought. Maybe I can borrow the classic Kevin Green aged black leather jacket so I can be Raven next week.
Oh, that works.
Thinking it might have to be the ticket.
There we go. Okay, Sammy, your last choice of the evening.
Okay. She is one of my favorites, and she isn't at all the warm, nurturing mother figure, but she is probably just one of the best in her own way, and that would be Miss Mallory Archer from Archer. Also, she was voiced by the late Jessica Walter, and she is just always a cocktail in hand, always complaining, always negative and criticizing the ISIS agents, and not necessarily being the comforting presence for her son Sterling, but she's been running that agency for years. She is also kept up a very, very active personal life that her son keeps finding out about. It's just like boom, 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 boom. But she's hilarious, and she's always entertaining, and She knows how to fight.
Yeah, it's a great choice.
And he grew up. He's still alive. So he was still alive. So, I mean, she did something right, right?
Yeah, yes, she did. Yeah.
And
Great choice.
Yeah.
I just want to really mention really quickly that we, in order to keep producing this content and to have sponsors such as Splattered Frog and Half's Hot Sauce, we do need people such as yourselves that are in the chat to like our posts, like our YouTube content. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Obviously you're on YouTube Live. We are on the Rumble Spoon Productions page that you can subscribe to very easily.
And like the live stream.
Follow our podcast, subscribe to it, play it. You don't have to play it all the way through. Play a couple minutes if it's something that you're not personally interested, but just play it so we have a little bit of a play so the algorithm can kick in and we'll be seen by more people. It's very important for us to keep producing content like this. We need to be seen. So if you guys can help us with that, if you're enjoying what we're putting out, we do this for ourselves, but we also like to feel this is like a really big clubhouse, like
we're doing it for the people.
We're just here to have fun and talk with friends. And a lot of you we've known for a long time, and a lot of you we've just literally met, and some of you, we've known for a short time, and we want to keep doing this. So if you can, subscribe, like, all that stuff, So we very much appreciate it. Thank you for doing that for us. And with that, we're going to move on to Kevin's last choice of Top Moms.
All right. My last choice is similar to Mrs. Keaton in the 80s, a very popular figure, and to me, definitely one of the most influential women of television over the past, 30, 35 years. And that is Claire Olivia Hanks Huxtable.
Ah! Love that.
She basically represents, the modern age woman, over the last 30 years, someone who can do it all. She is a professional lawyer and at the same time, a great mom at home too, but also someone who, a disciplinarian, make sure her kids are in line and in order. She also didn't put up with crap either. So she wouldn't, deal with any chauvinist behavior. And, she's just an incredible person.
Kevin, the thing that I really like about Claire Huxtable, she operates at such an advanced level compared to so many people that are around her. Because she is definitely a person who can be warm and kind, but at the same time is a strict professional.
That's right.
Is somebody that hides her emotions very well. A person that you cannot get one up on Claire Huxtable. And I think that that's something that's really memorable about her. And the fact is that her intellect is unbelievably sterling.
Yeah, she's intellectually equal.
Yeah.
So we're getting some comments really quickly. Maria says, yes, was waiting for someone to bring up Mallory. She's hilarious. Hakeem says, I logged into another account to help out. This is a great show. Thank you, Hakeem. We very much appreciate it.
Thank you.
Angie says it's super fun. Definitely fun from Hakeem. David says he will try to share more. Angie says for sure Claire. Janet says yay, Claire Huxtable Esquire. Hakeem says, what does Miss Huxtable know about Spanish Fly? Claire Huxtable is incredible, says Sean. And Scorch says Claire Huxtable said her daughters were not allowed to wear makeup until they were 15 years old. That's actually not a bad number even still to this day, I don't think.
Well, coming from, my own mother, she just messaged and said Claire Huxtable was an excellent choice, Kevin.
Darren, at what point did your mom allow you to start wearing makeup?
It was actually when I dressed up as Raven when I was 16 years old and had to have eyeliner on.
Oh, cool.
See, this is actually kind of fun. So, back in the day, I grew up...
You mean the Crow?
I grew up in high school the way that it was meant to be, folks, where there were the high school classes of popular kids, unpopular kids, the way it's supposed to be, right? And I will tell you right now that so I dressed relatively average, and I dressed as you would maybe say a preppy. So for Halloween one year, I went as a skater punk, and I had all of the skater punks literally circle me, and they said, go, and they all started kicking me. It was amazing. He did not like to be mocked. Because apparently when you make fun of punk is punk is a religion to some people.
Punk kicks
apparently,
back,
so.
I guess. Yeah.
They had Jenko jeans, an Operation Ivy t-shirt. It was priceless.
Oh, I had the Jenko jeans with the big pant legs that were like this. My God, yeah. That was. I still probably have those pants back home. My mom would know, probably. I don't know. They're back home somewhere. Let's see. David says the first time he dressed up as Gold Dust. Oh, for the makeup thing. Yeah. Definitely, David. Okay. Speaking of Gold Dust, Darren, what is your last choice for Top Mom?
All right. So, as you know, we have a great audience that follows with us, the smartest audience out there on the internet. However, this is one of those moments that I am going to step up and say, without reproach, undoubtedly, the greatest of all on-screen mothers, of course, is Sophia Petrillo from the Golden Girls, played by
Yeah, that's a great choice. I'm really happy with these choices you guys are pulling out. These are some really awesome moms and characters, and I'm so glad we can honor Mother's Day like this with such strong, colorful female characters like this in film and in television. It's so cool.
Now, of course, she is from the Isle of Sicily. True life, Estelle Getty was actually younger than B. Arthur, who she was playing the mother of. And from a very young age, when I used to watch the show with my grandmother, the thing that kind of came up to me that I always noticed is that she's always saying something funny. And as my vocabulary grew over the years, I was like, Sophia Petrillo is literally a walking punchline. I cannot think of a time she did not say something that the studio audience did not laugh at. She is clearly in a house with three of some of the kookiest women on television. And she is literally the Statler and Waldorf from the Muppets. She is the audience pointing out everything that you're thinking all the time, which makes her seem like a very wise, sage person. And all of her remarks, and like I said in the beginning, bluntness is a great quality in a mother. She has no problem calling Blanche a slut. And I mean those exact words. She doesn't think about it for 1 second. She has no problem calling Betty White, Rose, stupid.
Yeah.
And she has no problem calling her own daughter needy and insecure. And you cannot help but every single time she's on the screen saying something, you're going to erupt in some kind of laughter. Yeah. So undoubtedly for me, there's just no on-screen mother like Sophia Petrillo, and there may not be one ever again quite like her. So we shall see, hopefully. But if you can live up to her level of just great on-screen momness, if you will, that would be wonderful for all of TV and film.
Darren, it comes to times like this when we're talking about shows like this that I just wanted to thank you for being a friend. You know, down the road and back again. Your heart is true, and you're a pal and a confidant. And
you know, I am a pal and a confidant. I watched a classic film with you called Todd. And yes. I want you to tell me how many people could do it and still hold it together, Donald.
Todd is, yeah, it's, yeah, it's, yeah, I
threw a party and invited everyone you knew.
Right. You would see that the biggest gift would be from me, right?
Yep.
And the card attached.
Yeah.
What would it say?
Thank you for being my red-headed friend, Sammy.
There you go. That's how it would end. Okay, so to crown the evening out with my final choice, it's not going to be a popular choice by any means by anybody but myself, probably, and 5 other people. But I just feel like, honestly, to bring it back to comic books and to bring it back to the world of comic bookdom, there is no better of a choice than Kay Callum. And you guys are thinking, who is that, right? Who's Kay Callum? We're talking about Martha Kent, guys. Oh. From the 90s series Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, starring Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher. Now, Kay Callum played Martha Kent to a T. just a very worrisome, very nervous, but very loving, nurturing, strong mother that raised a child from another freaking planet as her own, teaching him wholesome goodness of how to just act in a moral compass that she instilled upon him. She sewed together his first costume that he used as Superman to rescue, to save people, always telling him never to give away his true identity because people wouldn't understand. But also instilling in him the fact that Clark Kent is who he really is, but Superman is who he really can be. And I think that's a beautiful message in any that any mother can bring to their child, adopted or not, just secondhand, so to speak, from your neighbor or something. You're a strong motherly figure. It's something that we all strive to find in a mom, and I think Kay Callan does it so perfectly and so wonderfully. I just love this damn series so much, and I couldn't be more proud and more happy to mention this series and this lady, Kay Callan, as a perfect choice for a top mom with Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, and just Superman in general. Just having Martha Kent be there for her son and, just be such a perfect mother that she was, and so good-natured and loving, and it's just such a perfect way to, I think, to end the evening on. Besides the fact that we do want to mention, if we all had to pick one final mother in this, we could probably find that mom at the Splattered Frog Brewing Company.
After a few drinks, I'm sure, right?
After a few drinks, yes. We could find that mother at Splattered Frog. If virtual, so to speak, brewing company right now, but coming soon to a pub, so to speak, and will be selling their beer, hopefully nationwide, sometime in the near future. I will have samples for people that are able to make their way to We Can Be Heroes comic shop in Chatsworth, California, where I often hang out. Actually, most of us here from the Real Short Box often hang out. Let's go to the chat real quick before we cap off the evening. Let's see. Chris Duquet popped in. Hate that I missed most of this one. Yes, Chris, we hate it too. And thank you for joining us. Chris Duquet says, Kevin texted me and mentioned Sammy is co-hosting to get me to tune in. LOL. So I guess that worked.
Sammy Blush Challenge, hashtag, right?
God dang it.
Yep. Katie says, at David Denenberg, Amy Matthews would be in my top 10 for sure. Denenberg says, how about the mom from Boy Meets World? So that makes sense.
Very close. Very close to the list. She almost made it.
Scorch says, Darren, my favorite Golden Girls episode was when Sophia placed a Sicilian curse on a family that they begged her to remove. That's pretty funny.
It was a classic.
Hakeem says, at Chris, I would definitely tune in just to see Sammy, too. Oh, that's sweet, guys. Janet says, who is your favorite TV or movie mom? It's Scorch. Scorch says, yeah, you've got to watch out for those Sicilian curses. And then my favorite TV mom is the other Martha Kent, Annette O'Toole from Smallville. That's a really good choice, Scorch. I like that choice as well. I just always felt that when you were at Lois and Clark, Dean Cain would always it was funny because Ma and Pa Kent would always be on the phone together. They'd kind of be by each other, and that's what my parents do literally right now to this day, is they put the phone on speaker and they are both nearby so they can both hear it. That's what they did in Lois and Clark, and it just resonated with me. And I always thought that was funny that they did that, So for me it was just a personal choice, but that's a very good choice. Let's see. David says, I have a bad Martha taste in my mouth after Batman versus Superman. David, I can understand, but you're not supposed to lick your television. Let's see. Chris says, but I love these dudes a bunch, so I'll always tune in when I can. Oh, thank you, Chris. We really appreciate that. Aww. Big hugs. Bring it in. There we go. Yeah, there we go. All right, big hug, buddy. Okay. Sean says, did nobody list Helen Parr for Lois? Malcolm in the middle. No, I don't think anybody did, to be honest.
She yells a lot.
Suddenly, my room turned very romantic. I don't know if you guys see the lighting now. It's very romantic.
I know I do. I
Lighting.
see it.
Very
Hello, ladies. Nice to see you. Would you like to relax by the fire? I don't have a fire, but it looks like
You know what? The mom for the Wonder Years is a good choice, too.
Yeah.
You sounded like a pro wrestler there, Donald. Val Venus. Hello, ladies.
Yeah. Scorch says, that splattered frog image reminds me of the classic arcade game Frogger. You are 100% correct. That is a great game, and it does remind me of that, too. Janet says, oh, great choice of Annette O'Toole, and I love her character on the new show called Virgin River. She's the town gossip. That's cool. David says, Chatsworth, isn't that the porn capital? Yes, David, it is. That's probably why I'm there a lot. Oh!
Also, a lot of horse riding there, David. Legit with the saddle.
Yeah, I'm not there for that.
Also, isn't Spawn Ranch there, too? The notorious ranch that the Manson family hung out at?
I don't know.
I have no doubts.
And just like that, my romance is over. It's back to normal. My mom says, I just wanted to know what kind of needle did she use. Mom, I'm not sure. Do we know what she's talking about? What needle? I don't know. Mom, if you can clarify, I'm not sure what that was. Scorch says, David, I thought that was Van Nuys. It could be. Yeah, it could be. You're right. And Chris says, Kevin, I love the puppy background.
Yeah,
So random. So anyway, guys, thank you all for tuning in. We very much appreciate it here for our special mother episode. And thanks for all the moms for tuning in, too. Miss Sullivan.
To all you moms out there.
And Mom, we appreciate it. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Mom, yes, may the 4th be with you as well.
Yeah.
You know, we also didn't bring up Stifler's mom.
No, we didn't.
Oh.
Maria says, my mom likes the puppies too, Kevin. So there you go.
Oh.
She's a fan of the puppies too.
You know who else likes puppies? Jerry the King Lawler. It's
Yes.
coming, guys, next week.
Yep. We're going to have 16 next week. 16 of our favorite professional wrestling heroes that are going to face off against each other. You decide who makes it to the final. And then that person goes to the following week where they face off against 16 of the top villains that you will also decide the final one against. And then they pit top hero versus top villain. Who wins? Again, you decide. So tune in next week for our Royal Rumble Hero Edition. It is going to be amazing. We're going to have special guest stars. We are going to have Splattered Frog Brewing Company with us, as usual. We're going to have our top 5. It's going to be a hoot. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be wonderful. So
It's gonna be me.
tune in for that. Thank you, everybody. Thanks in the chat that's tuned in. And thank you, Sammy, for being a very special guest tonight.
Thank you, Sammy.
We very much appreciate it. Let's
come back again.
Let's give Sammy a round of applause, everybody. Here we go, and there we are. So thank you. And thank you for all of you that tuned in the audience. We very much appreciate it. Like and subscribe on Rumble Spoon Productions YouTube page.
Spread the word.
Subscribe on our podcast platforms. We're on Apple. We're on Spotify. We're on iHeartRadio. We're on Spreaker. We're on TuneIn. We're on a host of others. If you can't find us, let us know. We'll get on that platform for you. No problem. No questions asked. We'll just do it. That's how crazy we are. We'll do it. I love you, Mom. Love you all. Love you, Dad. Thank you guys for watching and joining. Ultimate Warrior End of Story, says David. We'll see. Oh, Mom says son. You son. Okay. Sean says I vote for the human spider.
Oh!
Chris Duque says, was the mom from the movie The Water Boy a part of this competition? I don't believe so, no.
Negative.
No. And neither was the mom from Carrie either.
She's so classic.
She didn't make it.
Classic.
Scorch says, Sammy rocks, clapping hands. So there you go, Sammy. Have a good night, Maria. Have a good night.
Night, Maria.
Good
Take
night,
care,
Katie.
Maria.
Good night, Angie. Thanks for joining. Good night, Bonnie. And everybody else in the chats. We very much appreciate it. And if we don't see you out about anytime soon, maybe we'll see you
At the rambunctious, righteous, wonderful, and most exquisite comic book shop.
Boy!
Good night, everybody. Try this beer. Try it. Try it. You got to try it. I think you should
Good
try it.
night, Canada.